Hey loves, welcome back to Love Your Next Chapter. I'm Christy Love, and y'all, I'm so glad that you're here with me for episode 4, where we're diving into a topic that's inevitable on any growth journey: setbacks. Whether it's a missed opportunity, a failure, or life is just not going as we planned it, setbacks happens to all of us. Today we're going to talk about how to navigate through those tough moments with grace, resilience, and faith. You know, one thing that I learned through this journey is that setbacks isn't the end of the road. Setbacks are just detours that teach us, it grows us, and often leads us into something that's even greater. So let's take a moment to explore how we can handle them with strength and keep moving forward towards the life that we are called to live. Let's talk about setbacks for a second. How many times have you faced something and thought, well, that's it. I've messed up and now it's over? It's easy to label setbacks as failures, but let me challenge that thinking for a moment. What if setbacks aren't the end of the road, but part of the process? What if they're actually stepping stones to something greater? Think about it. Some of the strongest, most resilient people that you know probably didn't get there without a few bumps along the way, right? Setbacks teach us things that we couldn't learn any other way. They help us build resilience, it helps us to grow in patience, and it helps us to develop the problem-solving skills that we need for the next level. See, here's what I love about Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him. It doesn't say some things or only the good stuff. It says all things, even the challenges, even the moments that we wish never happened. God can take what looks like a mess and turn it into something beautiful, something purposeful. For example, I remember when I opened up my childcare facility, I was all excited, things were going great, or so I thought it was. It was a new opportunity, and I thought I was headed towards something that was really great, only for it to fall apart. And at that time, I was devastated, and I felt like I had failed, you guys. But looking back, I can see how God used that moment to redirect me into something better. Because right after that, you guys, I became a life coach, and I fell in love with this new opportunity. So maybe you've been there too, feeling like you've hit a dead end. But let me tell you this, a setback isn't a stop sign. It's a chance to pause, regroup, and keep moving forward with God's guidance. Those moments that feel like failure, they're just a part of the process of becoming the person that God has called you to be. So the next time that you face a setback, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what is God trying to teach me here? How is this preparing me for what's next? Because trust me, it's not wasted. God is working even in the middle of what feels like a mess. So let's take a moment to pause and reflect. Because when life throws you a curveball, our first instinct is to often panic or try to fix it right away, right? But sometimes the best thing you can do is just simply to pause. Just take a moment to breathe and reflect. Ask yourself, what's really happening here? And what is God trying to teach me in this moment? Because often the lesson isn't obvious. It's hidden in the stillness. That's why in James chapter 1, verses 2-3, it reminds us to consider it pure joy when we face trials. I know. It doesn't feel joyful in the moment, right? But that testing is where God strengthens us and helps us to persevere. So think about it like this. Have you ever been stuck in traffic? You're frustrated, you're impatient, only to find out later that there was an accident up ahead that you actually avoided. That pause protected you. Sometimes God pauses us in the same way, not to frustrate us, but to prepare us or protect us for what is next. And it's easy to get stuck on the why. Like, why did this happen to me? Why now? But here's the thing. Asking why often keeps us focused on the problem, not the solution. So instead, try shifting the question to, what's the next best step I can take? That small shift in mindset is powerful. It helps you to move from feeling stuck to finding clarity. So even when it's hard, trust that God is still in control and working for your good. One way to help with this is to start journaling. Write down what went wrong, but don't stop there. Also add what went right too. Because maybe you hit a setback, but you still have your health, you still have a roof over your head, and you still have people who love you. Listing those silver linings can remind you that even in the hard times, there is something to be grateful for. Have you ever been so caught up in one bad thing that happened during your day that you forgot about all the good things that's happened? Maybe you spilled your coffee on your shirt, but someone gave you an encouraging compliment later. Perspective changes everything. Setbacks can feel so heavy when you try to carry them on your own. But here's the truth. You don't have to. God is your strength, and He's placed people in your life to support you. When you feel overwhelmed, lean into prayer and ask for His guidance. Also, don't be afraid to reach out to friends, family, or your church community for engagement. In Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 6, it tells us to trust in the Lord, not our own understanding, and that He will make our path straight. That's a promise that we can count on. So think about a time when you are carrying like groceries and someone held the door open for you. It made things so much easier, right? Life is like that too. God and the people He places in your life are there to hold the door open when you are carrying a heavy load. Sometimes a setback feels like it knocks you all the way back to square one, but that's rarely true. You don't have to start over. You just need to find the next step forward. It might be small, like making a phone call, saying a prayer, or setting a new goal. Every little action adds up. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Imagine that you're hiking and you trip over a rock. It's tempting to stay on the ground and feel defeated, but the trail isn't gone. It's still there, and it's waiting for you to keep on moving. You don't have to run. You just have to take it one step at a time. That's how setbacks work too. So remember, God doesn't ask for perfection. He asks for faith and effort. One step is all that it takes to start moving forward again. Because let's be real, none of us like setbacks. They're frustrating, they're painful, and sometimes they make us want to throw in the towel. But here's the truth. Setbacks are where resilience is built. Think about it. Every challenge that you've faced and overcome has made you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what's next. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, it reminds us that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That strength doesn't come from having an easy life. It comes from trusting God and pushing through the hard stuff. Resilience is like a muscle. You don't build it by sitting still. You build it by working through challenges one step at a time. Every time life knocks you down and you get right back up, you're proving to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. And you know what? Those moments prepare you for future opportunities. They make you stronger, it makes you more confident, and more equipped to handle whatever comes next. So think about how like babies learn how to walk. They fall over and over again and over again, but they don't quit. Each time they get right back up, their legs get stronger, their balance improves, and before you know it, they're running all over the place. And that's what resilience looks like. It's falling and rising stronger every single time. So here's the beautiful thing about resilience. It's not something that we have to build on our own. God uses setbacks to shape us, to strengthen us, and to prepare us for the blessings that He has in store. You may not see it now, but every hard moment is equipping you for something bigger. Trust and believe that God is working even in the struggle. So maybe you're facing something right now that feels almost impossible. Take a moment to remind yourself that you faced hard times before and you've gotten through them. If God brought you through them then, He'll do it again and again and again. One way to really see your growth is by keeping a resilience journal. This is where you can document the challenges that you faced and how you overcame them. You can write down what happened, how you felt, what steps you took, and how God showed up for you in the process. When you hit a tough spot in the future, you can look back at those entries and remember, if I made it through that, I can make it through this. Think about it like when you're climbing a mountain. You might feel exhausted halfway up, but when you stop and look how far that you've come, it gives you the motivation to keep on going. Your journal works the same way. It's proof of your strength and God's faithfulness. Resilience isn't about pretending that things don't hurt you. It's about choosing to keep going even when they do. It's about leaning into God's strength when yours feel like it's running out. And it's about believing that every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to the life that God has planned for you. So the next time that you face a setback, remember this. You're stronger than you think, and with God, you can overcome anything. Every challenge is another opportunity to grow, to trust, and to step into the person that God is shaping you to be. So I just want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for joining me on today. You guys, setbacks are never easy, but they don't define us. They are moments that refine us and brings us closer to the people who we're meant to be. This week, I challenge you to reflect on a past setback and the growth that it brought into your life. Remember, you're stronger than you know, and with God, you are never alone. In the next episode, we'll explore time management and how to prioritize what matters most. Because balancing goals, family, and personal time is a journey of its own. Until then, keep dreaming, keep pushing forward, and keep embracing each page of this new chapter. Have a great day, loves.